When the crisis took out, and then when the troops came in, they just like soldier shooting, and then they chased other ways, and we ran away from here. We sat in a bush. It was a very, very, very bad situation whereby there's no even food, you know. Many people really, especially a kid dying of hunger, whatever, you know. There's no humanitarian assistance coming to us because there's no leading road, you know, I mean, there's no airstrip for them maybe to come or support, you know.
When you're faced with violence, it's difficult. When you're faced with nearly 2 million people fleeing from their homes, 6 million people who are at severe risk of food insecurity, when you're faced with a country that barely has an infrastructure, all of those come together and make the operating environment terribly challenging. Many of us feared a famine-like situation towards the end of this year. We've managed to avert that. We had to rely massively on an airlift, a very, very expensive way of operating, and it's put donors under pressure, it's put all of us under tremendous pressure. I think one of the innovations this year was this rapid response mechanism. Teams that have been able to reach over 150 different sites in opposition-held areas and government-held areas by air. We will be in a battle against time, in a battle against famine, once again in early 2015. The situation remains grave today. It could very well get much, much worse.
So we are looking at having a security risk assessment of LER. We will look at the dynamics on the ground in terms of population movement, humanitarian needs, and also with the partners, what they feel is needed.
And we have a couple of new security officers in SIOC, so it is a good eye-opener for them also to go on this kind of
join
process.
us.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So we're looking at what is the best location for pre-positioning, warehousing, common transportation.
Oh yeah, when do you want to go?
As soon as possible.
So tomorrow. Okay.
As soon as UNDSS indicate that the place is cleared, is safe for us to operate, immediately we go in to deliver aid. In South Sudan, in many places, food is needed, health is needed, non-food items are needed, and in many cases are life-saving. We need to ensure that the community understands and the leadership of the community is involved in it.
What we are trying to do is to explain to you today how it's going to be established. My part is the security. Do you have any questions regarding security to me?
People were saying if aid didn't come in June when we were coming out of the bush back into Lair, we would have been forced to move again, because we cannot die here. The aid community made possible that aid reach this place in a predictable way, month after month. So you can see that people have returned and continue to return, so little by little, people are, starting again life as it was before the conflict.
It is a safe place to operate at the moment. And I always say at the moment because in 2 days or in 1 day, it can be different.
The situation in December when the crisis began was totally out of control. It was crazy. Nobody knew where the food would come from, who was going to coordinate. The IDPs were in shock. The humanitarians themselves were in shock. Everything was a mess. That old POC is flooded, and you're going to see what we experienced a couple of weeks ago. During the 5th day of the relocation, we woke up to a totally different camp. All this was covered in water. They were trying to get all the food out as quickly as possible. As you can see, bags of sorghum. We still have a few bags of sorghum that are there. The whole population from here all the way there, all across to the end there, as you can see, were totally flooded. And this just happened overnight. We had just started to move the people to the new POC. The old camp, of course, was a spontaneous camp, whereas this was a planned camp.
So this is a maternity.
So how many children have been delivered here in the POC?
Almost 100 babies.
Since the beginning of the...
Yes.
Wow. So this is the place for testing. Malaria. How many cases do you have in the last, let's say, I don't know, week?
Today.
How many? 7, 8, 9, 10.
Wow. Okay. And you have the medicine?
Yes,
Yeah, in pharmacies.
Good.
We have had floods. South Sudan has been affected by cholera. All these things we were able to mitigate, we were able to respond because of the humanitarian funding. And without the emergency funding, without humanitarian assistance, these people would not be here and alive today.